Afternoon and welcome to Module 1. Before I go into the module that we start today, I'm going to briefly walk you through the platform. And I am in the home page, which is the first thing that opens when you log into the platform. And here we have a bunch of options that were suggested by the online team. And if you want to learn more about the platform, you can choose the Online Learners Toolkit. If you want to know the completion requirements, just check it here. And this is the announcement section, which is where I posted my welcome letter and where I will post announcements normally on Tuesday or Wednesday, which is when we finish modules and start modules. Um, we also have the coffee corner, which is the space where we are introducing ourselves. And please do that. Take the time to introduce yourself. Some of you have already done that, but those of you who haven't, it would be really nice to know something about you and where in the world you're from. Let me go back. The Burning Questions Forum, it's a great place to post questions. Nobody has done that yet. But if you are thinking of a question that may benefit others in the community, post it here, please, because that's the only way to share, your question and my responses. We also have the resources library, and do not be fooled by it. We have here some links to material in my IB. So in order to open this, you must have logged into my IB. And then we have different resources, and by clicking on these little arrows, you access, different folders in here. This is the students samples folder, and we go into English, and we have internal assessment samples for both levels, paper 1 prompts for both levels, and paper 1 samples from both levels. And some of the materials that are going to be mentioned in different tasks. Let me go back. We also have the sharing resources space. Some tasks take place in sharing resources space. And we simply post them by clicking here, add an entry, and this opens into a word processor. If you click on this arrow, you even have more options, to place links, to include emojis, insert pictures, and so on. This is very intuitive. We also have a learning journal. I am not requested to read your reflections in here, but if you're one of those interpersonal learners and you would like to reflect about your learnings during the modules, this is a great place to do that. So let's go into the roadmap. Normally, the roadmap and the modules start with this really neat slides, that once we click on them, they open into these neat slides. And here's a welcome, and then a presentation by the designer of the course. I have not designed this course, I'm only facilitating it, but Jihan is the designer. And you just, walk through it and have access to a description of each module and the learning objectives and the engagements. And this is pretty much a summary of the entire course. Let me go back to the roadmap. Here we also have the knowledge audit pre-assessment activity. I'm experiencing right now an issue with this because I cannot access your answers, and I really need them. So I already wrote to system support, to find out how to be able to reach your answers, which should normally be easy to do by clicking on an option that does not appear here. But I will wait for the response to my issue. Let's go into Module 1. So as I've stated, the first thing that you need to do is read what I call the module notes. This is the module notes. And this is, again, a summary of the entire module. but also a summary of the contents of the guide. The design of this course requests that you deeply read the guide. So many of the tasks start by stating, read the section on the guide about conceptual understandings, for example. And I even have placed the pages in the guide. So you're requested to read a lot. Um, as we progress, these are clickable items. We click on them and we access different information. These are clickable as well. And just browse through it. Again, this is very intuitive. And you don't have to really do anything here but read. And I guess there's at the end the opportunity to reflect about what you have read, after you browse through the slides, different clickable items. Let me go to the last page. Yes, we can write things here and save them. And once they are saved, we can download them here. But once we close notice that I already saved what I wrote here. If I close these slides and I go back to it, to the last page, let me go to the last page. Sorry about this, but I cannot input the number. Everything is erased. So everything will be erased once you close this. Don't be, don't be wondering what happened to your information, because it's simply erased. This is what we call a self-learning component, and this is learning that takes place on your own. Let me go back to the module. For this module, we have 4 learning engagements, and these are the 3 mandatory learning engagements, and there is an optional challenge, which in the case of this first module is pretty neat. Let me open one of the learning engagements, and some of you are already writing and discussing, and I need to respond to you, which I will do soon. Some of you wrote before we actually started the workshop. So let me remind you that the workshop is not self-paced, and that you need to work on each module within the dates that I included in my welcome announcement. So how do we use this? Simply by clicking on reply. And if you want to have the word processor that I showed you before, just click on advanced and click on this arrow, and you will have all of those options, even the option to attach material here. So I hope you find this video helpful. Bye-bye. See you.